Alfie Crescentini, Sean McCoy, Aha Pure Foods. Glad to have you guys back.
Glad to be here.
Today we're talking about heart health, diet, and integration of your product.
All right.
Very good. That's all wrapped up into one big word called weight loss, Adam.
That's true.
Get rid of that thing that's hanging over your belt.
Yeah. It's going to take some time, right?
I use mine to rest all my sunglasses, the kids' toys.
So a lot of the questions I've got with the and again, I'm going to highlight it, the Toma Vida.
Yes.
Powerful stuff.
Yes.
It's my favorite thus far. A lot of people are going to ask how to, first and foremost, I guess, explain the plant-based diet and the benefits of it, and we'll get to that, the integration.
Oh, I can explain the plant-based diet. I'll let Sean do the benefits of it. Plant-based diet, it's basically eating whole foods, plants, things that are grown in the garden, whole grains, no animal products whatsoever, no dairy, no cheese, no eggs, no beef, no pork.
All the yummy stuff.
Adam's going, I had Monday, Tuesday, I ate that Wednesday, I ate that Thursday.
I ate that this morning.
I ate that this morning. That's basically what a plant-based diet is getting all your nutrition and proteins and everything else that you need out of plants instead of using animal products.
Perfect.
For most people, it's what you buy with good intentions, but then it's in that crisper drawer, and then you open it, and it's all wilted and moldy.
If you go to the fridge right now, that's what you'll see, wilted.
I was going to make something healthy.
Sean working with students and us working with college students all the time say, hey, they always tell us, yeah, we're plant-based. We eat French fries and drink beers. Wow, it's not that simple.
Sometimes at the same time, sometimes they dip the fries in the beer.
That's right. Yeah, if you actually never consider, plant-based beer and fries.
Yeah.
I'm plant-based most of the time.
Yeah, sure. Think about it. But that's what a plant-based diet basically is.
Real quick, the product I'm drinking.
Yes.
Explain this because it's great.
The product you're drinking is our newest invention. And it is a tea that we're beta testing right now. And we have a university, I won't get into who it is, but we have a university that's very, very interested in this for athletes, and what they want it for their athletes is it's for antioxidant purposes. Keep yourself healthy. Antioxidants are like little Pac-Men that run through your body and eat all the bad stuff up. And for focus, that drink right there is made for focus, cognitive issues, getting rid of brain fog, and keeping you focused on your agenda, your job, whatever you got to do. That's what that is designed to do. And thanks to Sean and other people we work with, we're able to take this again. That's all plant-based. It's all natural. We don't play around with chemicals. There's no chemicals in anything we do. Nothing. Everything we do is all plant-based stuff, and it's grown someplace, but it's never created in a laboratory.
It's good, and the bottle's appealing.
Yeah.
I like glass. So
glass is pure. That's why we do it.
Yeah, that'll be, for the retail side, it'll most likely be in glass, but for food service, it's going to be in, giant packs.
Right.
So we're looking to reconstitute it and put that out into the food service spectrum, because you're going to have thousands of kids drinking 8 to 16 ounces a day. Yeah. Because they want to, they want to get a B+.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's thousands and thousands of people take dangerous chemical pills so they can get a B+.
Memorize, they want to memorize the playbook.
Yeah, and the soups also come in a glass jar, which now I'm repurposing for my bamboo plants.
Okay.
So I don't throw them away. They're really nice glass jars. And so I'm repurposing them, right? I keep them.
That's called sustainability.
Yeah.
So you're actually using one product 3 or 4 or 5 different ways. That's
right.
Sustainability. So you don't have to go and buy a glass jar. You already had one, and you're going to use it for something else.
I'm going to start selling my bamboo plants, by the way.
Okay.
They're my babies. I've been taking really good care of them. One of them's to the point where it's touching the ceiling now. I got to clip it and make more. Okay. Toma Vida.
Yes.
That's hot business. That's my favorite one.
Yep.
Right? So you being the executive chef, Sean being the PhD, what is the Toma Vida? What's it made of, and then let's speak the benefits of it.
Okay. Toma Vida is made. We have a partnership with a company down here called The Village is Grown. They are a hydroponic farm, a state-of-the-art hydroponic farm. And this thing is state-of-the-art as you're going to get for growing hydroponic plants. We use their hydroponic tomatoes to make our soup. It's a tomato soup. And we use their hydroponic tomatoes, and we buy as many organic products as we possibly can. Obviously, not everything is available organic at all times of the year, but we buy from what was called sustainable farmers. Sustainable farmers are farmers that rotate their crops, rotate their vegetables, so it keeps the soil as fresh, and they do all their own compost and all that kind of stuff. So these farmers are really, really good at what they do. So those are where we buy our vegetables from. The idea behind Toma Vida is inside of tomatoes there is a mineral called lycopene. Lycopene is very, very good for your blood. It's an outstanding antioxidant. You also find that in watermelon. It's the same mineral that's in watermelon.
I've also read that tomatoes and certain other vegetables they're helpful and preventative for cancer. Right?
Absolutely. But we got to be really careful what we say. We're not.
No, I get that. I get
like
it.
Like I say, I tell you on all our broadcasts, the only thing we cure is hunger. Eat a bowl of soup, you won't be hungry anymore.
So those that are listening, these are things I read via my doctor, Google.
Right. And the other part of the Toma Vida is avocados. Avocados are very, very high in potassium, and potassium is very good for your heart. Potassium is one of the minerals you need to keep your heart functioning properly. So blood from the lycopene. The Toma Vida, the avocados have potassium in them. There is also inside of those inside that soup is sunflower seeds, ground sunflower seeds. And inside the ground sunflower seeds are full of zinc. Zinc is very good to keep your immune system boosted. That's what we try to do is everything that we put together, every soup we put together, Sean will come up with all these ideas of, of what we want this thing to accomplish. What is the focus we want this thing to be? And then we'll design a soup around it. It's actually reverse engineering everything that we do. So that's how we put the Toma Vida together. It's a heart health soup. That was made for me because, I went through my heart surgery 9 years ago, and we'll get into the weight loss in a little bit, but that's what the whole idea. It's a heart health soup.
Yeah, and the thing is that soup as a nutritional booster is it's easy, it's warm, it makes you feel good, and the thing is it's also filling. So these aren't very high caloric soups, so they're also not very high in sodium because when we get to weight loss, people worry about retaining water. They worry about bloated. How do I fit in my bikini tomorrow if I eat this soup?
Right.
Alfie's bikini is usually like really thin and stringy.
Yeah.
So it's from 1975.
A couple of metal chimes on it.
Yeah.
The Toma Vida, I was telling Alfie, I ate it, and it's my favorite, which I'm going to stock up on that.
Okay.
I'm not a soup person.
I'll get you.
You don't have to use it as a soup. So, we have people that use it as a salsa. We just have it as, people do it as a supplement to their rice. They mix their rice in with it. So they want to make something that has flavor. And, all of us have had, white rice. People don't put any seasoning, no salt, no garlic, no pepper on it. It's just white rice and
the
water.
Seasoning for the soup is, it's not, again, and we'll cover that in weight loss. It's not going to make you fat. It just tastes really good.
Yeah.
It tastes really good.
Yeah, there's no other added fillers or preservatives or anything in it.
And it was incredible. I can't say it enough. It was incredible. In fact, we're going to do videos of Alfie making plates featuring Toma Vida and some of the other products.
Right.
I know I highlight Toma Vida a lot. It's my favorite.
Yeah, we'll have to do a bunch of stuff with Toma Vida for you.
Yeah.
But you got to remember, if I cook it, you got to eat it right then and there. I don't care how full you are. You're gonna have to eat. We're just going to stuff you up, make you look like Porky Pig when we're done with you.
We have people that have been putting Toma Vida on pasta.
That's where I thought pasta, rice especially. I mixed chicken when I had it. Mm-hmm. I got chicken breast and put it over chicken, and it was incredible. Yeah, and it has good texture. It's not like the soup you buy in the store where it's water based.
No, it's not. That again comes from the hydroponic tomatoes. It's a whole different class of tomatoes. They're just good.
Yeah, you have a PhD working on the product.
It's not a chunky soup, and it's not like a finely pureed condensed soup. So we kind of hit the middle so that there's a little bit of mouthfeel, and then you can really experience all the flavors sort of melting in your mouth before that first big gulp.
Sean, how did you get involved with what you do as far as your PhD?
So I was walking past my advisor's office at Frostburg State University, and he said, "Hey, you, get in here." And I figured it was just another student crying about a D or an F that I issued them on a test that they didn't prepare adequately for. even though I did all the study sessions, or their parents usually call about their baby that's 25, 30 years old, and why they failed, because they're used to getting participation trophies for everything that they do. And mommy and daddy always took care of them.
Yeah. Show up, get a trophy for
So, you know, I don't usually, I don't work my life that way. So I walked in there and he goes, what are you doing next week? I was like, well, it's spring break. So, something. And he goes, you like Florida? Thought he was inviting me on a trip to go golfing or something. I'm like, yeah, love Florida. He's like, well, you're going to go down and interview at the University of Florida and for a PhD as a doctoral student with one of my former graduates. And I was like, all right, sounds cool. So I went down there, did the interview, and they're like, oh, you got the position. August, I moved down. So I'd always been in exercise science and sport and human performance. And then I worked on exercise physiology and specialized in people with neurodegenerative disease. And that's what I did for most of my career and published papers on. So I work over at the hub. I had a couple other like provisional patents and stuff. And one of our founders was like, hey, you know stuff about food, because I had worked for a French pharmaceutical company looking at different medicinal mushrooms. And he's like, come talk to these guys. So I came in there and I started relaying my time as a correctional officer just in the general chit chat because somebody had asked a leading question. And so they thought that I was like...
I thought he got out of... I walked in like halfway through.
Yeah, they thought I was a charity case. They're like, oh, we're going to help this guy cut vegetables. The board of directors is sitting there, and he's talking, and I walk in like in the middle of conversation, and Sean's talking about when I was in prison, when I was at this prison, and I'm going, wow. Jamie. They thought I was there to be cutting vegetables, get my life back on track.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's all right with me, but Well,
I think the misconception. Look, Sean's a PhD. He's also 6 foot plus.
Oh yeah,
Irish guy.
Yeah, he's a big strapping Irishman.
Yeah, so it's not the little guy in the lab coat in the corner being told what to do. This is a regular American, plus size in height, anyhow.
Plus size in the gut too, because I do eat pizza a lot, even though it doesn't fit with plant based. I still everybody has their vices.
You're here to engineer people's better outcome, not practice it, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, everything comes in small steps. We don't. That's not really our goal, is to change your entire life. Right. We're just trying to change one meal, one day, and then hope that you keep coming back and buying the product because you can see, touch, taste, and feel the quality. So then we started talking about medicinal mushrooms. We started talking about, that I had a minor in food science. We started talking about protein, and everybody was like, wow, this is so exciting. And then, Alfie whipped some stuff up in the kitchen. I gave some feedback. We whipped up some other stuff in the kitchen. And other people were like, oh, I really like it. I was like, no, I don't like that one. And then we just kept going and then iterating, as all of invention, and eating more soup and more soup and more soup. And then, going home bloated, and then eventually targeted in on some recipes after consuming, 14 gallons of soup in a week. And, that's where the process started, and it's been ever developing. We're adding, like Alfie said, with the hydroponics, like better quality, higher rates of growth type products that are really going to help explode into the marketplace, because the world's moving to plant-based. You have lots of people that are proponents. The amount of individuals that are vegan is
a lot of athletes too. A lot of more than I thought anyhow.
Well, the thing is, like, you see a meme out there all the time, and it's, a giant silverback gorilla, and it's a guy eating, raw meat, and he's like, where do you get your protein, and how's a gorilla so big? And
right.
The gorilla can.
Yeah, that's true. If you look at the animal kingdom, a lot of the plant-based animals are enormous. They're very muscular.
Yeah.
Until you just said that. I didn't even think of that.
So, that's where, everybody always says, well, you're an exercise physiologist. How could you tell somebody to eat plants? I'm like, fiber, you have 8 to 20 pounds of goo in your gut. You might want to get rid of that every once in a while. unless you enjoy colonoscopies, and then, if you do, I'll work on some kind of referral process with a couple proctologists where we make like 10% or something.
Right. Kickbacks.
Yeah.
So it's good. You have two kind of science. You have culinary science, and then you have science. It's true. Safe to say you know what you're doing.
Yeah, you can mix. You mix them together. What Sean talks about. And then unfortunately, in what I have found out over especially going through what I go through, what I've gone through since my heart surgery, and I don't want to make this sound harsh, But there's a lot of medical professionals out there have no idea about nutrition at all.
Yeah.
They don't practice. They're not, and it's not their fault. They're not taught this in college.
They usually have 1 or 2 courses at the max in med school for, they're like, all right, well, we're going to talk to you about nutrition. Here's fats, carbohydrates, and proteins. They know the biochemistry. They're like, hey, let me talk to you.
I mean, that's largely in parks. They're taught, I guess internal medicine. They're taught chemical treatment. They're taught
symptom recognition and pharmaceutical.
Yeah. Then I'm not going to speak for all doctors, but I wonder how influential pharmaceutical companies are in that scenario.
Well, I mean, the thing is, again, because there's so many divisions, like they're used to working at a hospital that has a dietitian, that has a nutritionist, like they don't have to be the experts. They have to make a referral.
Yeah, that's true. Compartments.
So, we're about food as medicine, that's basically like our tag. And the thing is that a lot of the things that everybody looks to do as these major life changes, that's the thing is because they try to go from 0 to 100. And it's got to be like a slow progression.
Right.
The thing is like, hey, I haven't ran in 5 years. I'm going to go out and do 10 100-meter dashes and have my kids tie me and then pull a hamstring, and then you don't walk right. You don't walk right for 6 weeks, and then your pimp limp, gets around to when you're picking your kid up from school. People are like, "What's going on with him?" Oh, he tried to run the other day. Like, oh, that's a dumb idea. Like you got to walk before you run, crawl before you walk. Like everything needs to go in progression. You don't, a lot of personal trainers. When I used to do some of the personal training and stuff, that's the thing is they're like, put you on this program. They're going to be so tired when they're done. And then 3 days later, the person can't move their arms. They're like T-Rex, can't brush their hair or their teeth. They go around looking all disheveled and like
overextended. Yeah.
They're like, what have you been doing? Oh, I worked out. Well, they worked out so hard that they have delayed onset muscle soreness, and then they don't like that pain, and then they never go back. And that's the thing is a lot of people overprescribe everything, whether it's prescriptions, whether it's exercise, whether it's you need to take these 500 supplements, whether you need to do this, like join my multi-level marketing company. Like it's too much of something.
It's true because everything you do, everything I do, it has to be routine, right? It's not going to happen overnight. That's the other thing about this diet. It's not a miracle.
No,
you have to apply it to your daily, everyday regimen, or otherwise it's just, I was guilty of this too. Like, I got to eat healthy this week. I'll do it Wednesday. I'm healthy Wednesday through Friday. And then the weekend, I'm piling down all the junk you could possibly pile down.
Chicken wings, Doritos.
Yeah. And you try to, I know because I'm guilty of it, but I try to like, well, I did eat healthy last week. It's got to be consistent. And for the most part, I eat a lot of fruit. I like fruit. I like trail mix. I mean, sun chips are my guilt pleasure, right? If you can call it that. But on that bag, it says heart healthy. Now, I know what they taste like, and I know what they're not in comparison to other potato chips. What makes corn chips heart healthy?
Well, I mean, it's not just the corn. So depending upon what the designation is, it could be low in sodium. It could be, it has some special fatty acids in it that are good for your heart. It could have omegas in it. They could infuse different things. So like you'll see different branding on different groups. That's one of the things with the soups versus a lot of commercially produced soups that are really high in sodium is, me, I'm more of a salt sensitive type person. So I don't really salt my food.
I don't care for salt either, actually.
So the thing is, my wife's from Colombia and, her parents are from Colombia and Argentina. And so my wife, she puts the whole Morton salt thing in if she's cooking pasta. So
she's got stock, you're telling me.
Yeah. Well, and she's, and that's the thing is that a lot of these foods that you're getting on the go because everybody's busy. So that's why we tried to make the soups so that they're, readily shareable, quickly heatable, so that, you can have a quick meal. You don't really have to add anything to the soups. Just, if you want to put them in a microwave, people are like, no, you can't use the microwave. Look, if you have 2 minutes and you got to eat something and run out the door to your kid's soccer game, use the microwave. If you want to use the stovetop, use the stovetop. Like
the stovetop doesn't take all that long either. That's how I made it.
No, it doesn't take a
couple 5 minutes. It's boiling.
Right, but you have these like soup purists, and they're like, you can't put soup into a microwave, and you're like, if you're in a rush, you can put anything in a microwave.
By the way, I did not get to fully enjoy the lion's mane soup. I literally burned the roof of my mouth. I put it on the stovetop. I was like, I can't wait. And I got, you forget about what you're doing, and by the time you're back, it's molten lava. and you're in a rush and you spoon it in. Initially, the flavor was great, and then the mouth went numb. But it was
yeah, the blisters started to take
the blisters started coming. You know, you said a minute ago about something about pills and everything, and Sean was talking about if you have an ailment, let's take something really simple. Everybody probably has had it, a headache.
Right.
What's the headache caused from? You're not really, maybe it's tension, maybe it's anxiety, maybe you moved your head wrong, who knows? What do? You take some acetaminophen or you take some Motrin or whatever the pill is, go in the cabinet, take a couple of them, pop them in, 20 minutes, half hour later, your headache's gone. Did it cure the problem? No. It masked the symptom, just got rid of the pain. You know, you're happy.
It's funny.
You're happy because your headache's not there no more. But
my old neighbor
still there.
My old neighbor, when he got headaches, I'm not kidding, it was disgusting. When you think of chocolate, you think chocolate's something tasty. He had raw dark chocolate, and he'd have a headache, and he'd pop this, and he'd swear by this. And I tried raw dark chocolate. It's awful.
Tastes like bitter dirt.
Yeah, it's awful. So I don't know if that's some sort of fiction or not, but that's what he would do for headaches.
Well, I mean, again, there's all these home remedies, but a lot of them are based on things that have some type of benefit.
Or a placebo effect, maybe.
Yeah, or a placebo effect, like chicken noodle soup. Oh, it's going to cure your cold or your virus or whatever.
The heat breaks up the congestion at best, right?
Yeah, and, your parent or somebody lovingly prepared it for you. You didn't have to get up out of bed and you didn't have to waste all that energy. Like, oh, I'm so tired. I can't get up to cook anything. And then this bowl magically appears, with a little steam coming off of it, and it smells good because you've been drinking Gatorade or plain water for the last 5 days. So, and usually there's a lot of salt in it. So you finally get some, what most people would call flavor, but it's just salty water.
Yep. That's the truth.
With some overcooked chicken that's like rubber, and then maybe some al dente carrots and some noodles, maybe a little celery if you were lucky.
Yeah, and you knew for certain that celery was not. It wasn't cut that week. Fact. Do you know it? You can tell.
Well, and Sean knows something about this too, and he correct me if I'm wrong in this whole process. When you make a can of soup, when a company makes a can of soup, everything goes into that can raw. It's sealed, then it goes into a cooker. Everything is cooked inside the can.
Well, internally boiled?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, some of them are some of the soups are in these special pressurized containers, so they actually use pressure to decontaminate the soups, and the vegetables then are a lot more pure. But they can boil it, load it hot, seal a can. But there's some other expansion and stuff like that. So I mean, we use an old pasteurization method for all of our soups also. So
yeah, see, my aunt Jeannie, right? She will buy a chicken from the store, and by all said and done, she'll put the carcass into a pot and just add whatever shit she wants to, spices, whatever. I'm not saying it comes out good. Sometimes a little hot, but that to me, that's how soup was organically made.
Well, soups are made out of bones. You don't make soup out of meat. You make soup out of bones.
Right.
That's where you get your stock. You get all your flavor from the bones, all the protein. You want all that. You want all that stuff, all the marrow.
Yeah, she would make these soups and add rice and spices and vegetables, and you'd eat it. It was good. And then there was one occasion where it was so hot, your sinuses instantly cleared out.
Oh yeah. One of my friends, their mom, her idea of chicken noodle soup was throwing in Texas Pete and red pepper flakes. So either you were faking that you were sick, or you're definitely not, because that's going to go through you like a freight train, because it was like a burning.
You want to talk about fiber?
There's a hunk of burning love.
Nuclear soup.
Nuclear soup. Yeah, there's some fiber for you.
With Alfie, years ago, Alfie worked at Jack Willie's.
Yeah.
He ran the place. That was my favorite time to be a guinea pig.
Yeah.
When Alfie would, I remember they had a photo shoot. Remember he had to set up, the news was coming or something like that. There was this photo shoot. There's shrimp. Trying that food was a pleasure. And later on, they had Belly Timbers, a high-end steakhouse, colonial fine dining. Wonderful, right? Then
I was in the prime meat business for 12 years. I know a lot about meat.
Yeah, so that's why, for the people listening, this is a chef who was involved with every kind of culinary expertise you could imagine for years. Fine dining, regular dining, all of it. And so you had a medical condition.
Yes.
You got involved, or you did research and found out about the plant-based diet and the benefits thereof it. Mm-hmm. You hooked up with Super Sean, right?
Yeah.
And you have a tasty product. I mean, it's a really good product.
Yeah.
I can't speak enough about Toma Vida, but there's other. And So the point I'm making is for people that are buying the product that they're not fully going to go into the plant-based, but the flavor's there, and it is a better substitute than the soups you buy at the store. And some of the other packaged soups I was guilty of having myself for years ago, where it came in a thing and you had, you had water to it.
Sure.
Like ramen noodles.
Right, exactly. Because what the hell are ramen noodles, by the way? What are those?
You get a whole gram of sodium in there. So people are going to jail for grams of cocaine on the street, and you're basically popping a gram of sodium every time you're eating ramen. Because one thing of ramen never fills you up, especially after a night of drinking. So. Night of drinking, diuretics, then we're like, I'm gonna piss a lot, so I'm gonna eat 3 bowls of ramen before I pass out.
So what we did is, the whole thing from my perspective, from what I did, after I had my heart surgery, and I only have about 85 or 90% of my heart left. It was called a widowmaker. I had no chance of survival. Went into TGH, they fixed me up, and when I got out of, when I finally woke up in intensive care, the doctor said to me, he goes, you can't keep doing what you're doing. He says, your body can't handle what you're doing. I was 270 pounds when I went into the hospital. So I went into the hospital, they did all this stuff, and they got me through the surgery, and he goes, if this happens to you again, he goes, let me get something straight. He goes, I didn't cure anything. All I did was fix some plumbing. He says, I got the blood to your heart. And he goes, I just fixed some plumbing. He goes, if you keep doing what you're doing, he goes, this is going to happen again. And for 2 reasons, you're not going to make it. He goes, you will die that second time. He goes, number 1, he says, your body can't handle it. Number 2, I won't be there to fix it. He says, because there's no other surgeon that's going to, and I did some research and found out he was one of the leading heart transplant surgeons in the United States, was in TGH that day, worked on me and got me through this whole thing. So when I got out, I said, I got to do something. And I changed to a plant-based diet. Changing to a plant-based diet took me over 2 years. I tell people, before that, if you cut me, I bled provolone cheese and salami, man. Right. That's all I ate. I'm an Italian. Right. That's my heritage. That's what I ate.
And a little marinara.
And a little marinara every once in a while.
Well, of course.
But it takes a long time to change. But after changing, I went from 270 pounds, I'm 205 pounds now, 205, 208, and I've held that weight off for almost 7 years, just about 7 years now. And do I miss this stuff? Yeah, I miss it. If I go buy a barbecue, and I know somebody's smoking a brisket or something, absolutely. I know I love that kind of stuff, but I know I can't do that. It's my choice that I had to make a choice in my life, either eat BLTs, hot dogs, and bacon cheeseburgers and die in 3 years, or change my lifestyle and give myself a chance to live a productive life, a better life. And I feel better now than I did before I went into the hospital, because I don't weigh as much. I don't get weighed down with the bad food. Do I cheat? Absolutely.
Oh, of course.
I love potato chips, man. I eat a bag of potato chips in a TV commercial, and if I want something, and there's a guy that I follow all the time that I do a lot of reading about. I follow a lot of his videos. His name is Dr. Michael Greger. He's got a book called How Not to Die. And in Dr. Greger's philosophy on this whole thing is 50% is better than no percent.
Right.
You don't have to be a complete plant-based lunatic, which there are. Believe me, there's a lot of crazy vegans and lunatics. There's a lot of crazy. Since learning
about the company and what you do, I've seen some of these social wars. Holy crap!
Yeah, I've gotten chastised and really, really beat up by people because I like honey. What? And they say, well, honey comes from a bee. You can't eat it. I said, the bee didn't die to give me the honey. That's the natural byproduct of a bee. Oh, no, you can't have honey. I said, well, I'm going to have honey.
Listen, listeners, if I see a beehive, I want honey, the bees are dead.
Yeah. But you also got to remember the other thing behind a plant-based foods, one of the main things that people don't get enough of in Sean touched on this a little while ago, is fiber. What's going in your body's got to come out of your body.
Right.
It's got to. And more people are more concerned about clicking on a website because they're going to get a virus than they are while they're eating a bag of Cheetos or Fritos.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Yeah, instead of what they're putting in their body, because that stuff is going to sit in your body. It's going to become toxic. It'll become disease. So what's going in's got to come out. You said you eat a lot of fruit. Fruit's great for you.
I hate missing it. I eat apples every day, nonstop. Love apples. Again, for people listening, this is choice. Right? No, we're not forcing an agenda. No. You can do what you want. And so, the whole war I watched, I can't believe when I first started reading about it, the wars between the carnivores and the plant. Who cares? Yeah. Choose what you want to do. It's a choice. No one's pushing an agenda. At the end of the day, though, what you did for your health and to live longer, to live better.
Correct.
So moving into this, let's move into the weight loss and the science there of it.
Okay.
Because that's really, for me, that's appealing. In fact, for some of the girls I know, it's become very appealing when I told them I was going to discuss this. Mm-hmm. So,
well, a lot of it has to do with, and again, having Sean here is a great thing because it's saturated fats. Okay, now saturated fats in beef, pork, chicken. I do eat fish every once in a while. I love a piece of salmon or a piece of whitefish. I'll eat fish every once in a while. But the amount of fat that is in vegetables is nothing compared to take a piece of prime rib, or a piece of steak or a pot roast. The amount of saturated fat in that is what's going to be putting the weight. And there's no fiber in meat. Chicken, pork, beef have no fiber in it. So if you eat a 1 pound steak and a baked potato, you guys almost zero fiber. You got nothing. So all that stuff is going to sit in your body. Eating the vegetables, and you can get enough protein. You can get Americans are over-proteined anyway. That's my opinion. Right. I'm not a doctor. I'm a chef.
So, I mean, by saying that, though, now it just clicked with me. So a lot of our body weight is waste, just sitting idle.
I mean, if you watch some other, products that are out there now, like special types of coffees, mushroom blends, coffees, and things like that, without naming anybody by names, like, high-fiber products help people usually relieve, 5 to 20 pounds of waste that's sitting in their gut. It all depends on your body size and what you've been eating and things like that. So everybody goes, oh my gosh, I want to go on a cleanse. Well, on my cleanse, I lost 25 pounds. Well, you always had that weight. It was just that, you went on a 7-day cleanse and, there's nothing in your intestines right now. There's nothing in your colon right now.
Yeah.
You just eliminated all that. But to what Alfie was saying is, you hear about the SAD diet, which is a standard American diet. It's high in fat, high in protein, high in sodium.
A lot of Checkers, a lot of McDonald's.
A lot of fast food, a lot of processed food. And the thing is, you're always in a rush. Say you're eating it in the car, or you bring it home, you eat it real quick, and then you're going right to bed. And there's no exercise. There's no GI, you sit up, walk around, digest it, in a relaxed environment. Everything's go, go, go. The thing is that most people don't get enough fiber, of course, and then most people also don't eat enough plants and vegetables that, you're getting all the nutrition that you need. Like, things are calorically dense. Like, you can eat a Big Mac meal and, almost hit your calories for the entire day in one meal.
Yeah.
And, you can stuff yourself with, plants and vegetables for those 3 meals and maybe not even meet that Big Mac meal in a day. Unless you're, eating pastas and some other, grains, like, it's going to be hard to get there. So the thing is, a lot of people say, well, I never get full. We've all eaten Chinese food, and then an hour and a half later, like, I'm starving, so, it wasn't bulky and filling a lot of times. So if you bulk up with a lot of the vegetables that are also going to give you the fiber, your weight's going to go down from standing on the scale that people seem to care about, which isn't as important as, your body composition and your body fat and things like that. But they're going to go and they're going to stand on that scale and they're going to feel better and say, oh, it's 5 pounds different. Well, it's not that we're excited that you took in a whole bunch of fiber and had an explosive loss of 5 pounds. Yeah. Your family probably doesn't appreciate it. Your pets probably don't appreciate it.
NASA's considering inviting you in for, for new
they're going to do one of the cow methane studies on you. But the thing is that what you want to be able to do is sometimes it's like focus and goals and small progression. Like, if you saw that you were carrying that much waste and now you're going to eat a little bit healthier and something fibrous once a day, 3 times a week, Monday and Friday to clear you out before the weekend, and then after a heavy party weekend of wings and whatever else you're eating.
Right.
Like, those are the small steps where you're going to make little advancements. And the thing is, Alfie also exercises. So, that's also a part of the health.
By the way, anything you do, exercise, it's got to be at the front.
Absolutely. You got to move. You got to do something.
Like, I have friends that are pencil thin. They look like they exercise. They eat bullshit all day long. It's just in their DNA, but they're active people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to be active. And I'm not excusing. Look, I'm not saying go out, eat bullshit, and then, go walk a mile. But at the end of the day, exercise is foremost.
Every individual is different. You can't, I did some research on it before I came down here. There's 100, right now, today.
Right.
There's a minimum of 179 from what I got. So it's almost 200 different types of diet plans that you can get in the United States. Diets don't work. You can't go on a diet for 6 months and lose 20 pounds and then go off the diet because in the next 6 months you're going to put on 40 pounds.
Unless you go on the meth diet. That works, right?
That's inadvisable.
Yeah. But there's the diets don't work. There's tons of diets out there, but it's a eating program that you got to put together. I actually have people say, "Well, I eat kale." Ugh. Really? You think eating a bowl of kale is going to make you healthy? It doesn't work that way.
Eating a bowl of kale is going to make you feel bad about yourself about 2 seconds into it.
You have to, and if you do change to plant-based and you want to move over to plant-based, you have to be able to get the nutrition in your body that you need, that you're not going to be getting. And animal products do have, and Sean will tell you about that, but there are good nutritional qualities about animal foods. But you can get the same thing out of plants that you can out of animal foods.
You get more variety. I mean, steak is steak is steak. Well, I want short ribs, or I want Delmonico, I want a tomahawk. It's all beef.
Right.
The people are going to toss it in the pan, season it up with salt and pepper, maybe a little bit of garlic.
Yeah.
And then, dress it with, tablespoon of butter or 2 or 4. And then it gets that nice little glossy look, and you're like, wow, that was a really tasty steak.
Yeah.
Right. But the thing is, you can get the same protein, but in plants, it breeds variety. So, you can have carrots and kale and rhubarb and bok choy and
rhubarb sounds like something you would make a car part out of.
Yeah, you want protein out of plants, greens and beans, any type of legumes, any type of beans, black beans, pinto beans, any type of lentils, any type of dark leafy greens. You get plenty of protein out of them. And the other thing is, I did a lot of one of the questions I have when I do these speeches and different things that we do. They ask me about collagen. Now, collagen is for your joints, right? Keep your joints moving around and everything. Well, you can't get collagen from plants. It doesn't exist. That's a scientific fact. Huh. So I asked the person that asked me the question, where did the racehorse from the Kentucky Derby that won the Kentucky Derby last year get its collagen from? I'll listen to your answer. Because horses don't eat meat.
It's true.
Cows don't eat meat. Where do they get their collagen from? Your body makes its own collagen if you put the proper minerals in your body and eat the proper foods. Your body knows what to do with food. It was designed that way. It was designed to know what to do if you eat the proper foods. But if you're just eating, chicken wings, pizza, and Cheetos, sorry, guys, your knees are going to hurt and your shoulders are going to hurt.
You're going to lay on the couch, not want to do anything.
Lay on the couch.
Yeah.
And,
well, you have people, and the thing is, they would come in and they're like, wow, I really hurt my arm. And like, what'd you do? And they're like, put away laundry. Well, because the thing is their spouse or significant other was the one that always put it up on the high shelf, and they're out of town or whatever, and they're like, I'm going to help out, I'm going to lend a helping hand, and they finally lifted their arm above their head for the first time in 9 months, and they're like, oh, that wasn't a
that's another thing too about being active. This watch I wear, this is a Garmin Venue 2. This watch has put me through hell because it's a great watch. It functions great, but it's constantly there's a number you want to hit. It sets more goals than I was expecting to have. Right. So and I'm not saying to watch solely this. I've always been one to kind of stay in shape, but to watch my steps today, I'm very mindful of it now because the watch puts it in your face. Same for diet. So if you're gonna, if I want to improve my, all right, here's for you guys. For someone like me, I like meat. I really do. So I want to integrate the diet into my current diet, right? And let's call Saturday cheat day. I'm going to have a steak on Saturday and loaded potatoes and, so all the other inexcusable nonsense I'm going to eat. Monday through Friday, there's meals you could have that are plant-based. So you could balance out, right?
Yeah.
And this isn't for everyone. Like, obviously, if you have heart issues and you want to maintain your heart issues, obviously what Alfie's telling you is stick to a plant-based and consult your doctor, right?
Sure. Always.
But I mean, that's the thing is, again, it's, you want to have a bigger variety because people are like, well, I'm going to go plant-based. And then they're like, I'm going to eat baked beans every single day for the whole month. I'm going to eat red kidney beans next month. And like, but I'm doing variety, but it's not
but it's
in the day. It's not in the week. It's
right.
I'm picking a different bean. This is bean month 3. So the thing is, again, it's free will. You choose what you want to do. But a lot of the people, one of the harder things is they don't know what to do.
Right.
They're like, what do I do with, I've only ever had broccoli in a salad and it was tasteless.
That's the people we're speaking to, right?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
me. That's me.
So a lot of people, it helps them if you do meal prep. Like if you have a wok or a big saucepan, like, throw a little broccoli in there. You can throw a little coconut oil. It'll smoke up a lot if you use high heat. You can use olive oil. Some people are like, well, olive oil is not plant-based because it's pressed. And, you get people that, they're the purists. And that's great for them. But most people, it's pretty easy to throw a little olive oil into a pan and not feel bad about it.
I really
you throw
hate
a little
that,
lemon pepper seasoning on there. Oh,
yeah, I like
good.
olive oil a lot.
So I eat olive oil all the time.
I like eggs.
Again, most
I use
people
olive
do a
oil
lot.
for my eggs.
Yeah. But olive oil, the thing is, too, is like, again, like you don't need a half a gallon to cook.
No, you don't.
So,
yeah.
But people are used to French fries. And when they're like, I need to cook something in oil, they think that the oil needs to cover the product. Like, you don't you're not deep frying broccoli in olive oil. You're using it to give it a little bit of flavor, sizzle it up a little. Some people like their broccoli like a little bit charred, a little bit browned, But the thing is,
smothered in cheese and
cheese,
sharp cheddar
vegan
only.
cheese, and then But the thing is, you can simple things, salt and pepper.
Today for lunch, I made for myself and Carrie. We made and this is a lot of people don't like them, but you could do the same thing with broccoli that I did today, or cauliflower, some type of vegetable. I use Brussels sprouts. I cooked the Brussels sprouts with a plant-based sausage, which is it's got Italian flavor, which got garlic and fennel in it. I cooked it with that, with some onions, some garlic. I tossed it in some olive oil, cooked it up in a pan. And then I took some what's called black rice noodles. They're noodles that aren't made out of grain. They're not made out of semolina. They're not made out of wheat. They're made out of rice. I bought them in an Oriental market, made some rice noodles, and I tossed the rice noodles in with now you could use this with cauliflower. You could do this with broccoli. I chose Brussels sprouts. I tossed them in with the Brussels sprouts, and then I took our smoky mater, which is a smoked tomato dressing.
Really good stuff, by the way.
And I took it, put it over the top. That was my lunch.
I'm starting
and it's very satisfying.
Yeah.
And now if you don't want to be strictly plant-based, throw some chicken on the top of that. Throw a couple slices of steak on the top of that. Throw some shrimp over the top of that. Throw a piece of fish in. Put that on a plate. Put a nice piece of broiled fish on the top of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of positives to fish, right?
Yes, there's a lot of positives to fish.
So you could easily integrate that.
You can integrate anything you want, but you got to understand something. This takes work. It's not something that's going to be. It's not something that's going to just appear in a package in your supermarket.
Right.
These are actually things that you have to work at. Once you start working at them, they come Adam, that meal took me today maybe 20 minutes to make, and I made enough for 3 meals. I didn't make enough for 1 meal. I made enough for 3. Put the rest in the fridge. If I want to take it, maybe the next time I'll put it over rice. But these are things that you can incorporate. Now, eating that chicken or that piece of fish or the beef with those Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, broccoli, whatever you chose, now all of a sudden you're incorporating a tremendous amount of fiber into your meals.
Right.
That fiber is going to help tremendously. It's going to fill you up. It's going to make you calorically satisfied, and it's also going to add a lot of nutrition to it, because the standard American diet, you're calorically satisfied, you're nutritionally just starving, man, because you're not getting you're not getting any nutrition in your body at all.
You're cleaning the pipes and you're taking in vitamins.
Absolutely.
Right? At the basic level.
And to Alfie's point, and I think that's where a lot of people go wrong, is, they're like, well, I'm going to start plant-based and I'm going to do it every day of the week. And then every day they think that they're going to pull out like a, 5-star chef recipe. And then they find out, Oh, I didn't get this at the store, and they don't have a lot of the like. Start simple. Like you don't have to have a full spice rack.
Right.
You don't have to have an air fryer. You don't have to have all these special things. Just start out small, and with what you're going to do. Simple recipes that have seasoning and flavor. Like the complete seasoning. You can buy that one. It's got garlic and a couple other things on it. Throw it on there. A little adobo.
Just be careful of seasonings. A lot of them have high salt contents in them.
Yeah. So
high sodium.
Right.
So we're attacking it in a different way, but to Alfie's point is most people, they're like, well, I have to make this meal, and they'll make it for their family, but you probably can make that amount and then have 2 or 3 meals. And then again, that's not going to be the primary side or the primary vegetable. Like you'll have enough that everybody else gets like another quarter cup or a half a cup. And then the vegetables, after you cook them, it's not going to be perfect, but after you cook them, saute them, make them delicious, put them in the oven.
Right.
You can always put them into a Ziploc bag and toss them in the freezer and then just thaw them out and throw them in there.
You're talking about Toma Vida.
Yeah.
Let's take some Toma Vida.
I'll put on everything.
All right.
That shit's good.
All right. Make up some rice. Stay away from the white stuff, brown rice, red rice, and maybe some type of, other type of, a basmati or something like that, some type of a rice. Cook up some rice. Mix your Toma Vida in with the rice. Throw some beans in there if you want. Throw some broccoli in it. Throw some other kind of vegetable in. Get all that together. Put that out on a plate. Put a piece of roasted chicken over the top. You have a fantastic heart health soup with beans as your protein. You have rice, which is going to be your starch. And if you stay away from the white rice, it's going to be a complex carbohydrate. And you got a piece of chicken that's going to make you not completely plant-based. And then, well, again, like what Sean said at the beginning, we're not here to change your philosophy on life. I'm not here to make you either plant-based all or plant-based nothing.
Right.
Just try to incorporate these things into your lifestyle. It will make a difference. And especially when you're talking about weight loss, and you're talking about some of the women you talk about weight loss, you switch over and get rid of all the bad stuff that you're eating. You will lose weight if you eat this way and you walk. Do some type of physical exercise.
Get a Garmin watch that monitors your steps. I promise you'll walk.
Those pounds will fall off you. They really will. It's inevitable, but you got to. It's a whole system of something you have to do. You can't just sit, like I say, eat a bowl of kale or a bowl of broccoli and sit on a couch and watch reruns of I Love Lucy. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, your machine's got to work for you.
Absolutely,
you got to get the machine working. Alfie, on your website, and by the way, for those listening, I'm going to work with Alfie on making videos for different recipes and plates regarding the product. But on the website, do you have something where there's like recipes people could follow?
Yeah, there's recipes on the website. You can get a hold through our website. You can get a hold of me. You can call me. You can get onto hello@aha.com, ahapurefoods.com. Those messages will come to me. If you have questions about food,
right,
get a hold of me. I'll answer all the questions. We don't charge any of these. This is all freebies, guys. We do this.
Yeah,
we
why
sell
don't
our
you
products.
and we could start something where there's like a Zoom class once a week.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
We could do something like that. It's not cooking is not hard. It's really not hard. The most thing that people tell me they don't have is time. It's not that they don't have knowledge. It's not that they don't have the desire. They don't have the time to do it. Again, back to Sean's point. If you're going to make something, don't make something for tonight. Make something for tonight. Eat what you want. Take it, put it in Ziploc baggies, throw it in your freezer. When you go to work the next day and you don't know what you're going to have for dinner, take that thing out of the freezer, put it in a bowl, put it in your refrigerator, let it thaw naturally. During the day in your refrigerator, you come home at night, put it in a pot. You got yourself a nice meal.
Right.
You really do. And incorporating our products in it, it's already proven it's going to work.
So on the same note, where you have recipes for the plant-based obviously on the website and in the future for videos, perhaps there should be some recipes people can follow for the chicken, the meats, you know what I mean? How to integrate. Here's the biggest part for me. I'm the guilty party here. I experimented with the Toma Vida.
You see that stare you're getting from
yeah. The Toma Vida is great. I just threw chicken on it. It was great.
That's okay. That's good. That's all right.
Yeah. So for average people, they're going to question what do we use? How do we integrate this?
You can pull a recipe and it's like season your chicken or, one pan chicken and then do it the way that whatever you find a recipe. Like some people like cayenne pepper. Some people don't eat black pepper. Some people like salt. Some people like garlic. Like you can spice it up any way that you want. And then basically, you can bread it. You can make it like a chicken parmesan with Toma Vida on it.
Yeah, but to be clear, that Toma Vida is really good. I don't think you have to add anything to that other than if you want to substitute and put some meat, great. That Toma Vida is great.
Well, we don't want people to feel guilty because they eat chicken or they eat beef or they eat pork or they eat a piece of fish. Don't feel guilty.
At least that's not coming from us. Like,
right.
We want you to change. We want you to change a meal. You don't have to change your outlook on life.
Right. Absolutely. If you want to, all we're trying to do is help people by taking these products that we have, the soups and salad dressings that we have, and if you want to have a salad that you have chicken and shrimp and everything else in it, and you want to use one of our salad dressings over the top of it, that's a great idea because I know those salad dressings are as pure a food as you're going to be able to find. Right. There's no chemicals in it. There's no preservatives. There's no stabilizers. There's nothing. By putting that into that meal that you're eating is going to be a benefit to you. The same thing with the soups. By putting those soups and mixing it with rice or pasta, whatever kind of grain or whatever you want to do with it, putting a piece of roasted chicken or a piece of some meat over the top of it, I know that those soups are pure enough and full of nutrition enough that it's going to help you and aid you in what you're doing. It's not a deterrent. It's not going to harm you in any way. It's the nutritional. The nutritional part of those soups is just going to help. If you want to eat our soups with a bacon cheeseburger, man, God bless you. Go do it. Go eat the bacon cheeseburger. Just have the bowl of soup to try to balance it out a little bit.
Right, yeah. Or at least get the nutrients.
Yeah, get the nutrients and get the fiber. Get that bacon and that 75-25 hamburger that you just ate that's full of fat.
Help you get rid of some of that cholesterol.
Get rid of some of that cholesterol out of it.
So, Sean, for a recommendation for I say me, I'm going to dedicate Monday through Friday to eating healthier, and I'm going to cheat Saturday. Sunday's kind of neutral, right? Average person. How would you, if you had a schedule for yourself, right? You want to do this, and Monday through Friday you're going to try to be healthy. For me, it's going to be a lot of Toma Vida and et cetera.
I'll make sure you have a big supply of Toma Vida.
I really love that stuff. How would you, is there a suggestion for average people to kind of follow that diet?
I mean, it's sort of what everybody wants to do. Everybody's like, my doctor told me I should eat 2,000 calories a day or 1,800 or 1,200 because that's where I need to be. So the thing is, what are you going to start to do to change? Because generally accepted as, 3,500 kilocalories is equal to a pound of fat. So when you get rid of 3,500 calories through your diet, through exercise, which the diet, everybody always cheats. They always take over a quarter of cup. They give themselves 2 cups. Their portion sizes always seem to grow because they're not filling up and they're not hungry. So then they're like, I don't know why I'm losing weight. And then the thing is that their portions are nowhere measured. It's nowhere close. I don't think that you have to pull out the measuring cups and do every single thing. Like it's an estimate, but you know that like if you take two handfuls or you pour out half of a bag of broccoli that weighs 2 pounds, you're not taking a quarter of a cup of broccoli in your intake. And then all of a sudden you're like, I don't know why I'm not losing weight. Well, you also ate the whole bag of potato chips like Alfie would on the couch.
Absolutely.
And you're like, in that one meal, you're like, all right, today's my cheat day. I'm going to go to McDonald's. And then you're at McDonald's and then all of a sudden the kids in the neighborhood are at the ice cream truck and you're like, well, I did really good today. And then you go eat ice cream. And then all of a sudden, you're not in a deficit calorically from your nutrition.
Right.
And you want to watch the Gators play. You wanted to watch football. You didn't walk at all during the day. Right. So, you're not in a deficit from, exercise. You didn't make a caloric deficit. And you're like, I just don't understand why I'm losing weight. And the thing is, too, is that we've expanded our stomachs. Like, people drink a gallon of milk a day. People drink, they're eating, a pound of pasta. Well, I don't really want to put this box of pasta back and I don't have any kids and nobody else lives with me. So I'm just going to cook the whole pound of pasta. There's really not that much to take it out and put in a Ziploc bag. You might have eaten 3/4 of a pound of pasta because you eat it and then you go watch another show and you're like, well, I don't really want to, I want to clean that dish out. I don't want to leave that dirty pot on the thing. So then you talk yourself into, I should just eat that last quarter pound of pasta.
Yes, you're basically just making it okay.
Oh, yeah. You get your 2 o'clock feeding at 2 a.m. in the morning. You wake up and you're still hungry, so you go in the fridge and you start downing something in the refrigerator at 2 o'clock. And I know people who do this. Get up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, go out in the refrigerator and eat.
Well,
I can't go back to bed.
And coffee and creamer. So I have all these people, and they're like, I'm going to be so good. and then I see them, in the office, and they have a 32-ounce,
Yeah.
aluminum cup because they want it to stay hot or cold all day, and they go ahead and hit the Keurig twice and fill it up, half to 3/4 of the way, and then they put 4 cups of creamer into the coffee, and it's like 400 calories, and they're like, well, I'm going to lose weight today.
I like honey with my coffee. I don't like anything else in it. Yeah, I don't like anything else but honey in it.
That's all right. You can do that. I was talking to a lady yesterday.
This is a safe place.
Yeah, she has a little bit of coffee with her cream. And I went, excuse me?
Wait, what?
She goes, every morning I have a little bit of coffee with my cream. She buys half and half in a quart, and she actually fills her coffee cup over halfway with half and half, and then puts coffee in it. That's what she's been doing. And because I was talking
to her, it's like coffee Alfredo.
Yeah, I was talking to her about she wants to go on to a better eating plan, and and this is she scariest thing, she's an RN. She's a registered nurse.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she's a registered nurse.
Talk about knowing better.
She goes, I have a little coffee with my cream. And I go, do you really understand what you're doing? She goes, yeah, kind of. She goes, but that's why I like it. I said, well, if you're not going to make a sacrifice, if you're going to keep doing the same thing over and over again, nothing's going to change.
No, that's insanity.
Yeah, but these are the people that
to Alfie's point. So I know some of these, really gung ho power lifters, and they're really into CrossFit, and they're getting all excited, and they're like, "Well, it's really changed my whole perspective. I got this bulletproof coffee mix that I'm going to do."
I keep hearing about that shit too, man.
And they, like Alfie said, like a little bit of coffee with my cream. There's some people, they're doing a stick of butter. Yeah. 1 stick of butter, and then they're pouring a little coffee.
What is that?
That's
a quarter pound of butter.
Why are they doing that?
Every morning.
I don't understand that.
Well, because like the fats in the butter, it makes it feel like, like that's why they put butter on steak, because it makes it more satiating, gives a little bit of mouthfeel, has a little bit of salt to it. So they do this butter, and then they put a little bit of coffee on it for the caffeine, and then they feel like they can skip breakfast.
Oh my God! Just the thought of that makes me nauseous.
But I mean, when you see it, it's basically like coffee sprinkled. Like it looks like basically you're getting ready to sit down and put a napkin on and eat lobster dinner, and you're like, oh, I don't want the lobster. I just want to drink the butter.
That's horrible.
With a dash of coffee on it.
That's terrible.
Yeah, well, that's what people do.
Can you imagine sitting there with a fork and knife eating a stick of butter? God, no, that's crazy talk.
That's a quarter pound of butter.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I'd have to look up exactly what it's called.
You see that, by the way? My watch just said it's time to walk.
Time to walk?
I can't. People, get on a good diet and get a watch that tells you what to do. You'll do it.
Or get married.
And
you have somebody that'll tell you what to do all the time.
Well, Miss McCoy's a doctor too, yeah?
Psychologist.
Psychologist. You have no shot, man. She's got you beat. You have to listen.
Well, I don't listen, but then she finds a way to maneuver me into listening.
Oh my God!
The other thing I did some. We've been doing research on for a long time. Me being with my heart condition. Every year in the United States, between 675,000 and 700,000 people die from heart disease. That's from the American Heart Association. About 100,000 people a year die from diabetes. Okay, so we're losing close to 1 million people a year with just heart disease and diabetes. Why isn't everybody up in arms and changing the way, in trying to help people? I've had people come up to me that said they have to go in for stents and they got to go in for bypasses, but I'm not going to give up my pork, or I'm not going to give up my pulled pork, and I have to have my pizza, and I have to eat my cheese. And
I'm never giving up pizza.
Yeah, we have an Irishman over here that's talking about pizza. I love it. I think that's fantastic. But you got to understand, this is an epidemic in our life right now.
Right.
You want to get into something that's really sad, is talking about childhood diabetes and childhood obesity, and again,
16-year-olds having strokes.
Yeah.
People dying playing video games.
Yeah,
they don't live for 24 hours.
And a lot of people on this broadcast don't know, but Adam was an elite athlete at one time. I mean, elite to world-class type athlete, so he knows what we're talking about when it comes to exercise and eating right and all the stuff we're supposed to be doing. And I guarantee you that at 16 years old, Adam wasn't even thinking about a stroke or a heart attack or things like Sean's talking about, right, or childhood diabetes, because it didn't even have to come up because it wasn't something that we worried about. But today, the amount of childhood diabetes and childhood obesity, there's an estimate out there that 53% of all children under the age of 16 are obese. 53%. That's over half the kids are obese.
Well,
that's that. Do you understand what's going to happen in the next 15 years to these kids?
It's scary. At Jack Willie's,
yeah,
I would hit the gym before coming to work.
Yeah.
Right, every day. I had the same routine every day. And I remember one time I got a breakfast sandwich from a and you see these when you walk into that gym and these guys are staring at you like, what the you feel like an idiot when you right? You don't even you just gotta throw it and hope they didn't notice you threw it away.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get it. The obesity in children, what you're saying, that scares me a little bit.
It should.
We have half all these people failing their PT tests, whether they're they're already in the active military or they're, high school students are like, oh, I want to change my life and go into the military. They're not going to pass the PT test. I mean, I feel embarrassed. Like, I can beat half of these 15 and 16-year-old kids in a foot race.
Yeah, that's scary.
And, I'm old. And I eat pizza at least once a week.
And he's got gray hair too.
I have gray hair. And the thing is, like, I'm like, this is pretty bad. Like, I show up to pick up my kids at school and, some of the teachers and things like that are like, oh, are you so-and-so's grandpa? I'm like, no, I'm his dad. I just look old, But that's the thing is, and
listen, for those who are listening, he doesn't look that old.
No, he's not. He's not that old.
Well, that's because I moisturize. But the thing is that, like Alfie on his, talked about his weight loss from, like 270 pounds. So last February, I was 255, and then I'm down to 220. And again, like, I'm not fully plant-based. I don't live my life by the super strict rule. Like, I don't really eat sweets at all. Like, I don't eat candy, ice cream, all those things very infrequently. So I know some people struggle with their sweet tooth. Like, they go past a Baskin Robbins or,
that's never been me.
They have this tractor beam that pulls them into a candy shop. They can't walk out of the aisle of the supermarket without their hand reaching out and grabbing a Snickers or some other candy bar. I don't have that problem. But me, I have 3 younger kids and I don't like to waste food. And if they don't finish all their food, I'm like, Daddy, the garbage truck goes around, goes and eats it up and snarfles it up. And I try to make sure that, I start to pull back on that. I have a lot more plant-based. I probably eat a salad or 2 every day. So, I work on just moving forward with, bulking up with a lot more vegetables and a lot more beans. But the thing is, one of the things that the wife's also doing is, with the meal prep, I cook all of her meals on the weekend for her for the whole week. And she's doing smaller portion sizes and things like that. And, I'm just like, look at my stomach and I'm like, that's a meager amount of food. And I'm not that, I'm not that dedicated, but I've lost 35, 40 pounds, but when you guys see me on video on one of the podcasts, it's not like I have biceps that you can see. It looks like I have 2 pieces of capellini hanging out of my shoulders that wiggle around. I'm not really muscular. I go to the gym. I do really light weights, do a couple reps, ride a mile and a half on a bike, walk a mile and a half, usually watch like Sports Center while I'm doing it. But I'm not out there trying to, compete. I'm not trying to run my fastest 5K.
You're doing what you can to just maintain proper health. Yeah, it makes sense.
I do it for stress relief. I do it to reduce a little bit of the calories if I overeat. Now that in our semi-post-COVID world, there's actually people at the gym. I used to go at 4 o'clock in the morning and it'd be like looking around and, there's one other guy with 4 masks on doing the lat pull down, and he keeps giving you the side eye because like you're the only one there too. And then if you move machines, like they're looking all around, like making sure that it wasn't a ghost.
They got
that
a team come in and they're cleaning shit with fire.
scorched earth policy after you get off the treadmill and you drop like 4 beads of sweat. People are staring at you, making sure like he's going to wipe down that machine or I'm going to tell on him.
There's not if you go through your life on a daily basis, there's not a lot of things you really have control over. You don't have control over what time you got to go to work. You got to go to work at a certain time. You got to put gas in your car. What are you paying for that fuel? It has nothing to do with you going to the supermarket. What you're paying for food, you have no control over that. You have to be able, you all these different things that go on in your life. Your health, you do have control over if you concentrate on what you're putting in your body. Your body is your fuel. Food is medicine, like Sean was saying. That's our little mantra. Food is, use food as your medicine. You do have control over how healthy you can be as an elite athlete. You know that what you put into your body when you were in competition,
much more strict.
Very, very important.
Well, another big part of all this is even for right now, even during COVID, I moved to what they call a prison workout. You're stuck in a house. You're using dumbbells.
Back to Sean.
Yeah, I mean, you have to keep your machine moving for your machine to be adequately to work, right?
Yes, you do.
So if you eat, even if you're pacing to the house, and I've done this, when it's raining out, I will pace from the front to the back of the house, pace until you hit about 4,000 steps. It sucks, but you got to do it.
You got to move.
Yeah,
you got to move it.
Because if your body stays seated all the time, doesn't matter what you eat. If you stay seated all the time, the machine starts to break down because it's not working.
No, sitting is not good for you. That's why they tell you on an airplane. If you're going to take a long airplane ride, you got to get up and move.
Yeah,
it's not good. Everything just kind of stops.
Yeah, I pace a lot. I stay doing it. Thankfully for my Garmin Venue 2, which never leaves me alone. I even when I'm seated and I'm watching something and I see the watch say, "Hey, take some steps," I'll do it because in my mind, I'm like, "Well, there's no harm in that. Got to keep the machine moving, right?" But for you guys, for AHA Pure Foods, and the goal for heart health and weight loss, it's not a stretch to add this to your diet. Make it some kind of regimen through the week, and if you want to have cheat days, sure. I'm not saying quit altogether. If like Alfie and Sean tell you, add chicken on your day. Like that Toma Vida is amazing. I can't say that enough.
Sean, he's only saying that so I'll bring him some for free.
Yeah, I want cases of that.
That's the only reason.
He's trying to get sponsored by Toma Vida.
Yeah, Toma Vida. I even like the name. It sounds like a gangster name, Toma Vida.
Toma Vida, if you translate it, it basically means take your life in control of your life. That's what Toma Vida means. Is take your life and control it. That's what we're talking about. Control your life. Hey, listen, guys. If you want to go out there and eat a whole pizza and then sit down and watch a movie and eat a bag of chips, go ahead. That it's your life. It's your decision what you want to do.
Or make your pizza with Toma Vida.
No, and I don't judge people. I have a lot of friends that I go over their house. They're having barbecues. I have one friend of mine that I have known for probably 15, 18 years. Every day for the past 15 or 18 years. He drinks 15 to 18 Pepsis a day.
Yeah, we spoke about that last. I still can't figure that out.
The man has a hard time getting up out of a chair. He's 63 years old. He has a hard time getting up out of a chair and walking across a room. His hips, he's already had one hip replacement. His hips and his knees, it's terrible. And I said to him, John, get off of this. He goes, I love it. He goes, I can't stop drinking.
Yeah, that's crazy,
Pepsi Cola every day.
I know. I have a friend who drinks Mountain Dew.
That's
all day long, and that is the caffeine. You ever see the caffeine in that?
Well, with a 20-ounce Mountain Dew has 75 or 77 grams of sugar.
Oh,
now there's 12 grams of sugar in a teaspoon. So every Mountain Dew you're drinking about 7 or 8 teaspoons of sugar. And I know people drink a 6-pack of that a day.
I don't
easily.
Get it. I don't get it. I don't even like soda.
No, I don't drink soda.
I don't know. I'm not going to say this was trained. Something of me. Here's my weakness: fresh baked chocolate chip cookies. I'm weak. I'm sorry. I can't. I will in one sitting. If you make 4 dozen
chocolate chip cookies and Toma Vida. And
one sitting, I'll wipe out all those cookies.
A
Promise.
chocolate chip cookie spoon.
Okay, are they soft cookies or crunchy cookies?
If they're fresh baked, doesn't matter what they are.
As long as they're hot, he'll just.
You're not talking about going to the store and buying a bag. No.
I can't. I could pass by the cookie section 1,000 times, never give a second look. No. If I'm in a room and someone baked cookies, I'm going to sit down and eat all of them. You have to control. I won't be controlled of that. That's a weakness for me, right? But outside of it, I've really had no desire for junk food ever, really. You know, I mean, I like trail mix.
My kid likes those the Takis.
Oh God, yeah.
What are those?
They're these like hot like cayenne pepper like
chemically made
chips.
Chemically made.
They stain your fingers when you eat them, and he just wants to always eat them in the car. And like then he's like, "That was really spicy. Can I get another bag?" I'm like, "No."
Listen, when you throw something on the floor and the dog refuses it, it's not good.
Not good.
I'm not even kidding. I threw one of those fell on the floor in front of my aunt's dog, and it didn't even. It went by and walked away. That's your sign.
That's just, But there's again our whole reason for doing this, is people should just do what you feel comfortable doing, number one. What works for Adam might not work for Sean, might not work for me. You got to find out what works for you and what you're comfortable doing. And what you're comfortable doing, do it, start on that, and then eventually increase it. Again, you don't have to increase it every day. Work on something for a week or a month. Then the next month, try something else and move a little bit farther ahead, and then move a little bit farther ahead.
Right, because
it's a slow process,
right?
But you will see results if you stick to it.
Well, like you said, it took you 2 years to. It
took me 2 years.
Yeah. So and then, it makes sense. And then you got a PhD on your team.
Yeah. Really.
Well, I mean, and the thing, sort of also with Alfie's point is, again, you're not. You're doing this for yourself, but it's not just for yourself because your family's counting on you to be there.
Right.
Your family's counting on you to be healthy. You're trying to infuse their diet with some health, but you can't. Cold turkey for most people doesn't work. Quitting smoking, any of your other vices,
right. It really doesn't.
These addictive foods with high salt content, what you perceive as flavor, you can't just quit them. Cheese is a drug. Cheese is a drug.
It really is.
Like quitting cheese is something that I probably can't do. Like I think that
I don't think I can either.
I'm mentally strong and have willpower. I can't quit cheese. Okay.
But to be fair, Sean, I've not had Parmesan since our last conversation.
Yeah. Well, you can always just chew on a little wood pulp and get your fix. Go out, grab a 2x4.
Yeah, I've
grab a branch.
I swore it off. It sucks. I won't even buy the block of it anymore.
No?
Nope. Done. New adventure. You know what I mean?
But you're going to try to change your family's life. You can't, it's just like changing up the routine in the household. Like those, magical, like your kids have never done chores.
Right.
And your husband's never helped out around the house. And you give them a list on Saturday morning. That it's not going to fly well. You're not going to get 100% compliance.
No, of course not.
So, you got to break everybody in easy, yourself in easy, give yourself a bunch of grace. Like everybody's going to fall sometime. You have all these great intentions that I'm going to eat super clean, super healthy this week, next week, the next week, because I'm going to the Bahamas on vacation and I want to get into like all the clothes that I want to wear. There's going to be times that you're going to mess up, just like everybody does in life. They're not going to be intentional. Sometimes they're going to be situational. You're stuck in traffic like I was over here, watching somebody with a broken axle look at their 1985, Camaro, and everybody else wants to watch them too. Like things are going to get in the way. Life's going to get in the way sometimes, and you're not going to get that perfectly clean meal. But just do something tomorrow.
Right.
Or scrap tomorrow and do it Saturday.
And don't feel guilty about it.
Yeah, don't say sorry to yourself. Don't feel guilty.
No, just move on.
Pick up where you were. Move on. Everything's good.
Yeah, you got to make an effort. That's for me. I have routine. My biggest meal of the day is my first meal because I take a fistful of vitamins. That's my largest intake of vitamins. So my first meal is my larger. Midday I have an apple, and then end day I have a dinner, an item, and then every night same time on cue I go to my room 10:30. I make sure my bed's set a certain way. I have things. I come do my other routine, and every night routine between 1:32 in the room. I watch whatever documentary, and then that's off, and then I build other routine. But if something breaks my routine, I come undone. You know what I mean? And so I have to gradually build things into my routine.
Right.
There's a lot of people like me. It turns out they're crazy. I think, right?
Yeah.
So,
You just build. That's why we tell people do this slow. This is not easy to do.
Right.
This is not something that's simple. You're changing. You're
20, 30, 40, 50 years of eating patterns.
Yeah.
And you want to do it in a week.
Yeah.
It's
Rome
not
wasn't
gonna-
built in a day.
That's why.
true.
That's why I always started from the beginning when I said about these diets. Diets don't work.
Right.
You have to first. You got to get it between your ears that you want to do this. Okay. If you want to do this, you got to mentally, you got to convince yourself this is something you want to do, and then start out slowly, very slowly. Just cut something out. If you're going to eat a bacon cheeseburger, don't have a cheeseburger. Get rid of the bacon.
yeah. By the way, cheat day doesn't mean for me. Cheat day is Saturday. Have a cheeseburger. You know, maybe I don't like fries, so potato chips on the side.
That's all right. That's
right?
fine.
That doesn't mean sit there and have 4 or 5 of them and go all out. Savor that flavor, enjoy it, go back to your routine. You know what I mean?
Right. Go back onto your routine again.
Yeah.
But this comes from Dr. Greger again. If you want, and if you have a craving for something, okay, and you're not on your cheat day, or you have a routine where there's only twice a week where you're going to do different things, and you want a piece of pizza, you want that slice of pizza or that pizza with pepperoni on it, you want whatever it is, whatever that craving is. Fill that craving.
Yeah.
Satisfy that craving. Go out and get that pizza. Go out and get that meatball sub. Go out and get some chicken wing. Whatever that craving is, get it, eat it, satisfy that craving,
And back to routine.
And back to the routine
Yeah.
again. Because if you don't satisfy that craving, it'll stick in your mind, and you'll start cheating a little bit more and a little bit different things.
Yeah.
And your mind's gonna not be focused. You
No.
know? That's part of the some of the things that we're working on now is for focus and then for cognition. But the thing is, if you
Right. That's our next episode, by the way, the cognition, that's going to be important for some people I know.
so the thing is, if you're there at lunchtime and you're like, oh, I really want pizza, and you're trying to get your work done, and every 15 minutes you're thinking about pizza and you're trying to finish
Yeah, he's right.
your Q3
It's true.
report.
He's absolutely right about
It's
that.
true.
You're trying to finish your Q3 report, and then you're like, I'm not done my report, but I really want pizza, and I'm not done my report pizza, and then all of a sudden it's 5 o'clock and you're supposed to submit your report. You're rushing to get it done because you want to go to the kids' soccer game or whatever you're going to go to next.
You're still thinking about pizza.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas if you just would have ordered pizza and shared it with the rest of the office and built goodwill, and then had your slice,
And then go
you would have
back
got
to
your
routine.
report done,
Yeah.
and then you still would have made whatever next activity you had to do, and that's still thinking about pizza. And don't feel guilty about it.
No, don't.
Everybody
no
always,
guilt. No guilt. No judgment.
People apologize. They're like, "Oh my gosh."
Listen, these people that are drawing these lines in the sand about you're not vegetarians, you're not eating it certain. Who the hell cares?
No.
Why does this matter?
We don't
Why does
judge.
this
We
matter?
don't judge people at all.
Like you're not. I promise you, there's not going to be some battleground somewhere where there's people with a meat shirt and a plant shirt. They're going to shoot at each other. That's crazy.
Well,
you
I
know?
mean, when we used to do tastings at Lucky's Markets and stuff like that, people would come up and apologize. They're like, I really tried to stay plant-based all week, but, it was really bad, and I ate this and that. And, like, we're not your judge. We're not your jury. We're not your executioner.
No,
It's
we're
your
not
life.
here to judge. We don't judge
It's
people.
They can be
If you
said-
want support, we'll be like, hey, you try a different variety or something like that. Well, we're here to support you. We're not here to judge you. Like,
Right. Listen, if you go out and feed a homeless person one day, you did it out of the goodness of your heart. That doesn't mean do it 7 days a week and don't feel like, oh, I didn't do something great. Like you're putting your best will there.
Yes.
You're trying. You're making
trying.
an effort to
Make
do
an
something
effort.
great. Yeah. Outside of
effort.
that, there should be no expectations because I think that's where people fall short.
Well, if you start making an effort and you do it long enough, all of a sudden you're going to find out that the effort you're putting in is actually working.
Yeah, it's paying off.
It's not a magic pill. This isn't going to happen in a week or two. This is going to take time. So you got to give this time to work.
Right.
But all of a sudden things start moving on your body, things start getting better. Maybe all of a sudden you put on a pair of pants or you put on a blouse or a shirt that you haven't been able to fit into for the past 2 years. And all of a sudden you throw it on and you say, hey, this thing, you know what? This is really working.
More energy.
Yeah, more energy
yeah,
you have.
small steps.
Small steps. This is really, really a baby steps at the beginning, and just take small steps. And all of a sudden, one day you'll find out that this stuff really works. And now, when that clicks, all of a sudden your willpower becomes really, really powerful, because now you know by doing the little stuff, if you get a little bit more serious, how far this can really go.
Yeah, listen, in summary, right? For the AHA Pure Foods, a really great product. I could vouch for that myself. Integrating it or just moving to plant-based, however you want to do it, build a routine, have one day of the week where you can go do whatever you please and enjoy it and indulge for that day. That, again, that doesn't mean overindulge. It just means indulge and have a routine and integrate it into your exercise and your existing diet. It's important to have routine, because without routine, what stops you from having a breakfast and then a little extra bacon, a little extra? I have a routine with this is me though. I'm a little nuts. There's an exact amount of strawberries. There must be an orange. There must be the X amount of, protein, but that's me. I'm nuts. Right. But have a routine and it'll spare you. And then you could, I think it would be easier. And again, the AHA Pure Foods product is great. The Lion's Mane tea is great. That's for next episode we do. Is going to be surrounding the mushrooms, and it's going to be surrounding shrooms in general, right?
Yep.
And fungi. We'll call it fungi. That's a fun word.
Yeah, that's what they are.
And that's going to be geared towards focus and energy, your cognitive ability. But for the heart health and for the
weight loss,
this
absolutely.
Again, it's just routine.
Absolutely.
And it's not the AHA Pure Foods. I don't want to say it enough. It's great stuff. Alfie, I know for years. Great chef. He's made some of the best food I've ever had. And he knows what he's doing. Then you got Sean, PhD. So again, you have science, and then food science mixed together. And coming soon, we'll make videos. And then obviously for the website, you would want, mix it with your meats and then plant-based only, some sort of something they could follow.
Oh, absolutely. Again, if the folks are listening to this, you don't want to give up your meat, that's fine. We can show you how to incorporate all the products that we have with your diet right now. By adding a little bit more of our products into it is going to help your nutritional intake tremendously.
Right. I mean, you've been cooking meat in most of your lives for 5, 10, 15, 25 years, like your well-done shoe leather steak. Like, how to do that on your own.
Yeah.
But we'll show you how to,
really.
We'll show you how to do something else.
Yeah, we don't have to show you how to screw up a steak.
Yeah.
You do that pretty well yourself.
It's funny because Alfie's mistakes that he had at Belly Timbers, or he called mistakes, and when I say mistakes, slightly not to perfection. I was right there. I made sure I got it.
You were the garbage truck.
Oh, damn it. Not another steak. Damn it.
If these guys, it was crazy. And the people that don't know the restaurant industry, if you have a favorite restaurant, don't ever go in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It's not a really good place. It's not a really good place to be, because the things that happen in restaurant kitchens, and again, I was in this industry for 35 years, that some of the stuff that happens in restaurant kitchens is just, you don't want to go in there. Like,
chefs throw spoons, knives.
Pots. A plate comes back with a half a steak on it, and we're talking about a piece of prime beef here. Somebody doesn't want to take it home, they don't feel good, whatever the reason, they had too much to drink, and a steak comes back with a half a New York strip on it, and you got like 5 bus boys
hyenas.
and six waiters going over there with forks and knives trying to dig in, trying to grab a hold of it.
Hey, that was good. Those are good times. I enjoyed it there. Look, I would go to school and then stop at Alfie's restaurant at night, have a late night coffee with some of the girls. And but they was like, "Is anything in the kitchen that's so good?"
Any scraps?
Yeah,
any scraps?
Because he would have these rolls there. I don't mean to do this to you. You're supposed to be going on a diet when you listen to this, but he'd have these rolls there and these flavored butters. I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Oh yeah, we used to make all kinds of compound butters and everything up.
Yeah.
Oh, we did. It was a very eclectic food. It was a prime steakhouse with the different types of eclectic foods. We did not worry about nutrition. We did the more fats.
That was satisfactory.
That's
all he cared about.
All you want.
Roll them out the door.
Get the flavor in them, man. Roll them out the door with $3 martinis all night long.
Yeah, right. Oh my God, I'm not going to go down that road because I'm going to screw up my routine today. Well, in closing, guys, the website again. I'll have it featured in the comments.
AHAPureFoods.com.
Yep. And so for the next one, I want to highlight this. This is for focus and cognitive ability. We are going to make videos for Alfie and with Sean. Sean will be the guinea pig in this one, myself included. And we'll have like a to-do thing so people could see how to make these meals properly.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, like some quick stuff for them to do.
Yeah, quick stuff. We'll make you some quesadillas. We'll make you burritos. Something. make something with Toma Vida.
Toma Vida, there, without a doubt. I love it. It's really good. I'm sorry. Everyone's going to have to try this to understand what I mean. It's really good. And Sean, I'm going to eventually have Sean, separate episodes, separate issues, or subjects anyway, with the Mrs. McCoy. The Mr. and Mrs. McCoy. Sounds
like a TV show.
Yeah, sounds like some outlaws.
The real McCoys.
Yeah, if anything else, guys?
No, thank you.
No, thank you so much for having us. Having this available to us.
Great.
If you guys have any questions, just reach out to us on the website, and
absolutely.
I'll force Alfie to respond at 2:00.
Yeah, he will. During my 2:00 feeding, he'll have me respond. We answer all questions. It might not be instantaneous, but anybody that calls in or emails our website, everybody gets a response. Promise to do that. We will respond to your questions.
I'll have everything in the everything down in the description, folks.
Thank you, Adam.
Guys, thank you.
Adam.